Thank you so much for joining me again on another episode of Weird Hebrew Tales. This time around, I thought I would go back to the very first episode that I ever did on this series, and boy, did it need some work. So I went through and redid the audio and fixed up the video, and now I think it makes the subject really pop for the viewer. It's a very interesting subject, and it just goes to show you that a lot of things that people might be familiar with in popular culture have their origins in the Hebrew scriptures. So sit back and enjoy, and thanks again so much for joining me once again. The subject of the vampire has literally saturated popular media ever since Bram Stoker's fictitious tale of Count Dracula, the Transylvanian nobleman and descendant of Attila the Hun. Loosely based on the 15th century Wallachian prince Vlad the Impaler, Stoker invented what is now considered to be both the prototypical and archetypal vampire in all subsequent works, spanning a multi-million-dollar film and book industry that now crosses genres. But where did such a character bearing the well-known traits of this creature originally emerge? The earliest reference to a vampire appears in the Tanakh. The Hebrew word for vampire is alukah, usually translated as leech in most Bibles. According to the Encyclopedia of Biblical Literature, alukah is a Hebrew word that means horse leech, a type of leech with many teeth that feeds on the throats of animals. In Proverbs 30 verses 15 to 16 we read, "The leech has two daughters. Give, give, they cry. There are three things that are never satisfied, four that never say enough. The grave, the barren womb, land which is never satisfied with water, and fire which never says enough." Jewish tradition about vampires varies over history. Sometimes they are regarded as demonic spirits, other times vampirism is an attribute of a witch. In the Testament of Solomon, vampirism is a malevolent activity of demons. Information about vampirism in Judaism appears in the Sefer Chassidim, Book of the Pious, where the creature is understood to be a living human being. The concept of beings feeding on the vital life force of the holy underpins the entire struggle between good and evil. Evil, in of itself, has no core substance of its own. In fact, if a man did not practice any misdeeds, evil would not have the oxygen to exist, much less flourish. Largely, the existence of what we call demons come about principally through the birth of the sins of man. Sins first manifest in the brain, with the dark forces only granted the power to influence or tempt a person to follow a wrong course of action. The Tefillin, the prayer phylacteries normally worn by Orthodox Jews, which consist of prayer boxes and straps that adorn a believer in prayer, consist of boxes encased with specific verses of scripture. One rests over the forehead and the other the inner middle bicep over the heart. These tools are designed to impress upon the believer, in a physical sense, a connection reached up from a physical place, piercing into a spiritual plane. In effect, the tefillin function as a type of concentrated prayer antenna, enabling the person who is praying to draw a closer connection to the divine. The head tefillin consists of the shell rosh, the frontal box rests over the cerebrum, and the rear knotted part of the strap rests over the etzim hagugalet, the essence of the skull, the bone directly beneath the skull on the back of the neck. Underneath the skull on the back of the neck, there is an indentation, which one can actually feel when touching the back of the neck. Right above that indentation is a round bone, and the knot of the tefillin shell rosh should be at least partially touching that bone. This location is believed to be the place where the dark forces siphon energy from a person, hence the connection with the neck, the favoured location of attack by the modern-day Hollywood vampire. Interestingly, the knot of the head tefillin strap is made in the shape of a Hebrew dalet, which is also synonymous with the Magan David, the Shield of David, a sign made up of a double inverted Hebrew dalet, signifying the two chief letters in King David's name. So this knot signifies a type of shield protecting this area from the dark forces. In Psalm 18:35 we read, "You have also given me your shield of salvation." Hey, before you go, if you like this series and you want to find out much more, check out our books, All Lights On in the Master's House, Lightning from the Master's House, Flying Chariot, Fallen Dragon, and Is Alcoholic. All available on Amazon.com and other online bookstores, and help us to continue to spread the word. Also check out our website, Netzarim.com, where we have many teachings and resources on a myriad of subjects that will enlighten and enhance your walk. Bye for now.